right, welcome to Dale's the Crowd, where we talk about stuff.
Yeah, just like whatever we want to talk about.
Pretty much. I'm your host, Roland.
I'm also your host, but I'm the better host, Phil.
That's good bickering we have. So, Phil, what's up? What have you been up to?
I have been working on my super secret Halloween costume that no one is allowed to know about.
I know, you've been an absolute asshole about it, and you...
It's so great. I really love the idea of just, like, building this costume, and then nobody ever gets to see it ever. That would make me laugh so hard, and I know you guys would hate it.
I know, you're telling me an idea of, like, wouldn't it be funny if I was just pretending to be invisible and I just didn't come?
I just left a walkie-talkie here, and I'd be like, yeah, that's pretty funny, guys.
Yeah, or you said, maybe I could hire somebody to just come in, and I was like, either way, you're an asshole in this situation. You're not coming.
But that's
you're
funny.
You're avoiding the party.
But I wouldn't be avoiding it. Like, I'd be sitting there, and I'd be, like, sad that I wouldn't be there, but I'd be laughing because I'm like, this is pretty funny. I wouldn't even be able to see what's going on. I'd be sitting there just like, ha, 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 ha. This is funny.
Yeah, and then your mom would come in and be like, Phil, I thought you had a party to go to.
Phil, your dad and you spent, like, 2 months building this costume. Aren't you going to, like, go to the party? And I'm like, I'm there already, mother.
I hate that. And I know Julie hates it too. Oh, wow. Thanks for asking what I've been up to. I appreciate that, Phil.
No problem. It's I was thinking it.
Yeah, no, you weren't. But I just got done working on a TV show.
You allowed to talk about it?
I'm not. It's really the worst thing about working on a production. You sign in like an NDA and you're not allowed to talk about it. And then like people will come up to you while you're filming and be like, "Oh my gosh, what's going on?" And you just have to say, "Oh, we're filming." And then you just get this like kind of blank, empty, hopeless look. And then you're like, then they try to ask you questions. You're like, I can't say anything.
Well, you get a blank and empty look, but that's just you normally.
No. Actually, fun fact, I don't know why this is a thing, but we're supposed to say you're filming a mayonnaise commercial. Like, if somebody comes up to you and be like, oh, what are you guys filming? You're just supposed to lie and say it's a mayonnaise commercial because it's supposed to be so unappealing and disgusting, everybody just, like, walks away. But I don't do that anymore because somebody walked up to me once and was like, oh my gosh, what are you guys filming? Oh, a mayonnaise commercial. Oh, really? What brand? And I couldn't think of anything. Because who cares about mayonnaise? You know how I feel about mayonnaise. I can't stand... But I made up like a fake... I said Johnson or something. He was like, wow, you guys seem to have like a really good budget. I'm like, yeah, we're trying to go above and beyond, really make it a thing. And he kept like asking... I was like, bro, get the fuck out of here. I'm going
to be honest. I was really hoping that it wasn't going to get funny because I was just saying that wasn't fun and I would barely consider that a fact, but you made me laugh. So good job.
I mean, it's so weird. I don't know. And then there's one time where I'm at Chick-fil-A.
Hey, yeah, we don't talk about that. We have a guest.
Actually, good segue. Me and her met through Chick-fil-A. It's a segue. We met through Chick-fil-A. Introduce our guest, Hannah.
Hello.
Hannah, welcome. Thank you for coming to the podcast. We appreciate it.
Thanks. I didn't have a choice.
Yeah.
That's what we do here.
Pretty much.
We're going to kidnap all our guests.
I respond to that one, and I'm just going to avoid that since we're filming in my basement. So,
rolling underground.
That's my new theme song. Thank you. I needed that. You've just sold your license. I appreciate it. Anyways, we were thinking about episode ideas, and we're thinking about like, oh, this would be a fun thing. We talk about the worst dates ever, and the first person we thought of was you.
I hate you so much.
We just thought it'd be perfect, and we were like, we have to get Hannah involved in this.
Yeah, we have to get one of our only female friends involved in a dating episode.
Listen, okay. Representation.
You've been on bad dates.
A few.
Would you like to name some of them, or?
I have two genres.
There's genres to these stories?
Okay, so there's eras, okay? So there's...
Are they eras or genres? Because those are two completely different things. Also,
it's timelines, alright?
Roland, this is going to be the second episode in a row where I'm sitting here questioning how you pronounce things. Genre?
Genres.
Genre?
Genre.
Genre?
It's not John.
Genre.
Anyway, whatever. Okay.
Wait, how do you say it?
Genre.
Genre.
You're
We're both
pronouncing it
saying
with a hard
now.
J.
Genre.
Oh my.
Doesn't matter. Hannah, continue.
So, okay, the point is like, okay, it's a timeline, right? So, for a period of time in my life, for whatever...
Sorry, I wasn't expecting it to be that loud.
For whatever reason, like, everyone that knew me was just not okay with the fact that I was single. Like, everyone. Like, there would be, like, friends, moms or sisters or whoever would be like, hey, I have this guy. Why don't you go out with him? I'm like, no, thank you. And then after that, right when I first started hanging out with y'all was when, like, the Tinder era happened, where, like, for the first time ever, I was like, maybe I'll go looking for something. And then I found nothing but garbage, and then I was like, well, shit, forget that. And then that's when I met Nate.
We met Nate before the Tinder, but you
Okay,
finally...
listen.
No, you saw all the other options, and you were like, shit, I have to pick one of these guys.
Oh my god, shut up. No, that's not what happened. Anyway.
She's almost breaking the pencil that we gave her.
Anyway, point is, there's, like, everyone bringing their candidates, and then there's Tinder. So, y'all have your options of what you want to hear first.
Well, I'm currently going through both of those right now. So, Roland, what would you like to hear?
Take your pick.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess, like, Tinder. First off, before you even start talking about the story, just give us, like, a fake name, of course, but what attracted you to this person that made you swipe?
So actually, to understand that, first you have to understand what makes me swipe left. So, if you're holding a fish, you're out.
Wow, this is original content right here.
If you have anything, like, office related in your profile, you're out.
Like the show?
Yes.
That's fair.
That show fucking sucks.
No, that show is amazing. It's just the culture is bad. We've talked about this. We're going to continue.
I agree with Roland. Also, the fact that, like, most of the times, like, guys are like, I'm just a Jim looking for my Pam. It's like, no, you're looking for someone to suck your dick. Just be real. Let's be real. All cards on the table, please. If there's a photo of them, like, shirtless in front of the mirror, off. Like, no, thank you. I feel like y'all roasted me a while. Because, like, at the crack house, I did have, like, my Tinder up one night. And y'all really did just, like, attack me.
You also came after us. I distinctly remember
Listen.
being called a troll that lives under a bridge, asking for Dale riddles.
That is true. No, actually, now that I think about this, you can't say anything because you talked a lot of shit about our
Okay,
Tinders.
Roland, you're just mad because I said that you look like a gay couple.
No,
Because
you did.
You
You
had
did.
Parkland on there.
You
It was
had,
this cute
Holding a
photo.
child.
It's me and one of my really good friends.
Holding
We're
a
sitting,
child.
You can say
holding a
his-
child.
Yes,
Yes,
your
you were
younger
holding
brother.
your little brother.
That's another photo. I thought you were talking about when me
But
and
it
Kirkland
was
were
y'all
holding.
together, and y'all are like,
We're standing right next to each other. We have like
Yeah, but you had matching Christmas sweaters.
like y'all looked like a married couple.
It was cute, and I'm not gonna apologize.
And we're not asking for an
Fair enough,
apology.
but I'm
we
saying, like-
fully accept you here.
Listen, the whole point though is like when I'm looking on Tinder for a match. See, I'm like, he's already taken. Like, move on. But anyway, yeah. So I have code names for each guy. You can choose Chipotle dude, line man, two friends, or my blind date.
I feel like we have to start with two friends because that's like a super iconic story.
So, I hate that one.
Why did you give us the option?
I know because y'all specifically asked for it.
Yeah, because it's an iconic story. Did you not just hear the man?
Okay. So we're gonna call him Steven, okay?
With a PH or a V.
You know, he was the type of guy that looked like he would have his name spelled PH, so.
You don't name yourself, but okay.
But he looks like it. You saw him. No, you know.
I did.
He looks
You know what?
like
We
it.
did meet him.
Speaking of Stephen with a PH, not to... did I ever tell you I met Stephen King on set?
No!
Who?
No, what the fuck? No, you never said this.
Dude, I met Stephen King. It wasn't the writer. It was just some guy named Stephen King.
I
but
hate you so
he
much.
was... I can pull up the photo.
You did the
He
Chris
always
Evans
does this.
grab the
He
boob.
always does this.
Oh my god.
I don't know why I'm pointing at the mic like it's gonna visualize it, but
They can. I feel like.
Okay, sorry. Continue with Stephen PH.
Okay. This man does not have a PH. I'm sorry. Anyway, I shouldn't roast this poor child. So, obviously, we met on Tinder. We exchanged messages for a bit.
as one does.
As one does
Yeah.
on said dating app. And it came about, because it was around this time of year, like, I mentioned something about the fact that I'd never been to the Renaissance Fair. And I really wanted to go. And he was like, really? I probably should make a voice for him. I'm sorry. But he
you
was like,
can go like, no, really?
but he was like,
fucking Ridley.
he's like, really? My family goes every year. Like, why don't I take you? And I was like,
Oh, so he's like rich.
no. I know that sounds really
That
bad.
was a joke, but I'm glad that went through. Continue.
Anyway, it just wasn't a funny joke. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right.
Anyway,
Comedy podcast.
so hey, this is where you have to forgive me because it was really stupid, right? So I drove to his house because I was gonna ride with him. Which, first of all, red flag number one: don't ever get in the car with a random dude you've never met before in your entire life. Might not be a good idea, but I did it. So I went to his apartment, and he was like, "Hey." We got in the car, went to the Renaissance Festival. Just real awkward conversation, and then long periods of silence. Like,
So your first date was the Renaissance Festival?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so we were walking around, and there's like different little shops and booths and everything. And so we went into one where like this person had like taken wood and like carved roses out of it, and had painted them like different colors and everything. He asked me which color I liked the most, and I said the black one, which he was like, oh, that's weird. I was like, well, but how many black roses you see in the real world, okay? Like, I thought it looked cool.
7.
So, I didn't think much of it. We started walking out of the booth. When he did like one of those little things where, like, he taps you on one side of the shoulder. So, I mean, I was, like, playing the part. I was like, and then he, like, pulled the rose around and, like, presented it to me. But I kind of jumped because, like, he was, like, right up in my face, and I was like, whoa. But what was awful, though, was the fact that, like, a shopkeeper of, like, a different booth had seen it happen, and she addresses it. She's like, dude, you didn't have to make her jump. And I was like, social anxiety, like, dying. I'm like, please don't acknowledge us. Like, let me just die in peace. Because then he's, like, going back and forth with the shopkeeper being like, it was supposed to be cute, like it wasn't supposed to be like, and she's like, well, like A for effort, I guess, but like don't scare her next time. And I was like, I want to die. Because then after that was like awkward silence because I was like, do I make him feel better? And so I kept quiet because I was like, I'm not going to like comfort this man. In addition to like walking around, we were talking about like TV shows. He was going on and on about Game of Thrones. And I was like, never seen it. To which, like, he seemed very disturbed that, like, I didn't know Game of Thrones and, like, I'd never seen it and didn't care to. So he suggested that when we got back to his place, we watch a couple episodes. At this point, it's, like, 5 in the afternoon, and I had an hour and a half drive back home, and I was like,
Wait, you drove an hour and a half to this guy's apartment?
Oh, that's
yeah.
Well,
Well,
that's like red flag number one.
Because I understand going to his apartment.
Time out.
Okay.
He was closer to Renaissance. So, to me, it was like, I'm already heading that way, baby, you know? And so, whatever.
Wow, you're already calling him baby?
No. Oh, my God. I hate you so much.
Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize.
I'll call Campbell and have her beat your ass. Anyway.
She would laugh hysterically.
Anyway. Point is... lost my train of thought. He was like, let's watch, and I was like, I've never seen the show, but I knew the episodes were like an hour long, and I was like, So I did what any strong, independent, grown-ass woman did, and I said, I'm sorry, but my mom needs me at home. And I was like, bye, and then so I got in my car, and then he, like, had said goodbye and, like, went into his apartment. Didn't think anything of it. So I was, like, trying to get my car to start and, like, let it warm up and everything. When, like, his door opens and he comes back outside. And I was like, we didn't take my car to, like, he didn't forget anything in it because we took his. Like, so I rolled down the window. I was like, yeah. He's like, I know it's the first date, but like, would it be too forward if I kissed you? And I was like,
Yes. The answer is yes. You had to, if you walked away and then walked back to do it, that's too much.
And then like he kind of leaned in and like gave this like this wet little peck on like on the lips, and I was like, okay, cool, bye. Left, went home, and was like, okay, that one's a no. But he kept messaging me, and I'm really bad at confrontation and just being like I don't want to hurt the feelings. So I was like, just giving really short answers, right? Like he'd be like, hey, how's your day? I'm like, good. You know, that kind of thing. Like, not giving him anything. Like, you know, you'd think you'd get to a point where, like, you just wouldn't, like, message the person. But during that time, I was also in rehearsals for a series of short plays that my class was performing. And I made mention that I was in said plays. And he asked about, like, when they were and everything. And I very bluntly was like, I don't want anyone coming to this. I'm quite embarrassed to be in them. I want no one to see them.
Yeah, we didn't get that message.
I literally told...
No, we got the message, we heard it, and we absolutely ignored it because we're supportive.
I hate y'all so much.
That's why we showed up an hour late.
I would have paid y'all not to show up. I would have paid. But the point is this random dude that like I had one date with, it obviously did not go well, was like, I'm gonna come support you, I'm gonna come watch. I'm like, please do not. Like, I'm telling you not to come for many reasons. But also, like, my own mother is not coming to these. I don't want anyone here. I didn't think anything of it until the night of one of the performances. I happened to get a message before the curtain opens saying, I'm here. And I was like, what? Why? And then to make it worse, it was also the night that y'all idiots showed up.
Yeah, but we also showed up real late because we also decided to stop at the ABC store beforehand.
But the point
and we went to the wrong place, too.
The point is, I was like, this cannot get worse. Like, it really can't. And then he drove all that way. So after the show, he was like, I'd like to take you to dinner. And I was like, he drove all this way. I'd be such a dick if I didn't accept. Because, like, he made the effort, even though I really, like, I was like, don't come. Don't do it. So I was like, sure. He's like, let's go to your favorite place. Like, wherever you want to go. And my favorite place is Dos Amigos. Okay? I didn't choose the name. It's just a Mexican restaurant with very good cuisine.
And a cool chip guy.
He's the best guy ever. And honestly, I would die for him. Like, a straight up chip guy, my favorite. But the issue, too, was, like, I knew everyone was hanging out because it was, like, a Saturday. Or it was a Friday or a Saturday.
It was a weekend night.
And so I was like, everyone's going to be hanging out at the crack house. Because I was rushing up through the plays anyway because I wanted to go hang out with everyone. And then this guy shows up. So now I'm stuck at dinner with this dude. So I've never eaten a meal faster. Like, had little to no conversation. I was, like, shoveling like a prisoner. Like,
which is saying something because at Chick-fil-A, you had, like, 10-minute break.
It was rough.
Yeah. You would... that was, like, the fastest eating you'll ever do. So for Hannah to say that... And she took less breaks than anyone.
I ate standing up in the kitchen.
So for her to say that means something.
The guy set it down, and I was like, thank you for this blessed meal. And, like, shoulders, like... over elbows on the table, fork in a shoveling position, like, rotation did not stop the entire, and this poor guy was trying to get a word in, and I was like, yep, and I was trying so hard to be nice, but also at this point, I was like, obviously the nice route did not work with you. Like, I'm just gonna have to, like, chop it off. So, dinner finished, I was like, alright, it's been swell, head into my car, and I'm like, here we go. And then he brings out another rose. But this time it was because he had went to the Renaissance Festival with his family that day. This rose was made, I know, it's kind of like, to the point now it's a little weird. I'm like, okay. It was a metal rose. So it was like crafted and everything. And in addition to that, it smelled like a rose. Like they had somehow like put something on like the petals to make it like I guess it's like an essential oil or something like that.
That's pretty cool.
But it smelled fantastic, and it was like this metal rose, and it's really pretty. But he was like, he presented it to me again, and I was like, thank you. He's like, yeah, I thought I'd bring you flowers, but then, he's like, I mean, like, this lasts forever. And I was like, haha, it sure does. Anyway, I have to go, and then I just said, like, I have to go or something like that. Like, I've got somewhere I have to be. I didn't tell him that I was going to go sit in a, dilapidated, like, freezing house with a bunch of idiots drinking Fireball. But he didn't...
temperature Fireball, by the way.
He didn't need to know that point. The point was, it was, like, a guy came uninvited. Really, at that point, I was like, and I think after that, where, like, I just slowly didn't respond. And I think he got the message at that point. And I felt really bad, but I was like, you know what?
Sometimes, like, that's really all you can do.
Because he wasn't getting it.
I mean, I've been known to be a stupid person. I know Phil can attest to this. So, like, sometimes I don't...
That I'm the stupid person, too? Or that you're also stupid? Because both of those are correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
But sometimes, like, girls would, like, when I was in the dating scene... shut up. I don't even... Fuck off. But, I wouldn't get that at first, and I'd be confused, and I would try to, like, win girls' affection, and it just wouldn't work. And then... But I wouldn't... Not, like, weeks... I wouldn't do it. I'd do like a couple days, and I'd be like, all right, I get the message. I'll fuck off.
See, I think he was one of the last ones that I ever was like, yeah, good. And then after that, I was like, listen, like, I just don't think we vibe very well.
Yeah. And it was made very obvious when you're like, you know what, I'm going to friend zone this guy. He doesn't know it yet, but we're going to go to a place called Two Friends.
Listen,
again, we thought that was so funny.
Listen.
We thought
who was the one that pointed
Patrick.
out?
Probably Patrick.
Yeah,
Patrick always
He said,
goes.
you took this man to Two Friends. Listen,
really showing him how you feel in the relationship.
Yeah.
One, it wasn't a relationship. Two, it's just he said my favorite restaurant. That's where we went. It happens to be named Dos Amigos, which happens to mean Two Friends.
I also want to point out, you walked in the door, and it was like an hour after we had left the the building, and we were sitting there, and we were like halfway through the bottle of Fireball, and you come in and you go, "Give me the bottle. I need a few." And you caught up with everyone shot wise.
I mean,
you were like, "It was a rough date." It was like, "Yeah, it was like less than an hour," and you go, "Yeah, I shoveled in all my food."
Like, because I wasn't about to waste the shrimp, okay? Like, that's blasphemy. But, like, the point was, being nice got me nowhere. That's what I learned.
You hear that, people? Don't be nice. Fuck everybody, but not like that. Not like that.
Have there been any, like, dates you've been on where you're like, I need a drink? Have you been on that before? Be careful. You're giving me...
So, one of them...
Okay.
I'm not going to talk about because it's gross and disgusting. And it's already making Hannah retch.
Spaghetti?
Yeah, spaghetti girl. A quick summary. Took a girl out. I wasn't planning on seeing this girl ever again. It was just
she tasted like spaghetti.
Yeah. Just the whole car smelled like spaghetti sauce.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't eat spaghetti for a week. Love spaghetti, by the way. Spaghetti's delicious. Not on people, though. There was one other date where it was like I had been on a date with this girl before. We'll call her Daisy.
Okay.
So I took Daisy to BurgerFi for dinner, and
the
then
finest cuisine.
That's a solid place.
It's pretty good.
The onion rings unmatched.
Absolutely. And then we went to go see Monster Hunter. The movie. Terrible movie. She and I both fell asleep in the middle of it like twice. And, it was a good first date. And then after, like, I don't know, maybe like 6 months, we had talked about, like, going on another date. And I just wasn't really into it. Yeah, I know.
You waited 6 months?
Yeah.
Dude.
Were you talking throughout that entire time? Or...
Yeah. I just, like,
Wait, so you were talking for 6 months?
Yeah.
I hate this already.
What?
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that's
look,
insane.
Bruh.
Dude, what I've been telling you guys, I don't go on dates much. So
yeah, but to be talking, I hate texting. I can't do that.
Anyways, she asked me if I wanted to go get dinner one night. And I'm like,
Bro, she's having to ask you to go get dinner.
yeah. And I was like, yeah, you know what? All right, I'm down. And then, like, because it was for the next day. And then, next date comes around. And I go, you know what? I don't want to go on this date. Because I'm just going to have to pay for dinner. And then, nothing's going
Says who?
to... says me. She doesn't have a job.
Sheesh.
So, I'm like, I don't really want to take her to dinner because, I was working all day, I was tired, and I just want to sit down and relax. And she was like, yeah, I just, I moved close to this area, and there's this restaurant that I want to try. And so, you and I should go. And I go, I'll be honest, I'm not really feeling it tonight, maybe another time. She was like, well, you already kind of promised that we're doing it tonight, so, it's kind of a dick move for you not to go now. And I'm like... You're right. Fine. The whole time I'm just a little pissy about it because I didn't want to go. And we get to the restaurant. Pretty good actually. The food was good. It was like a pub kind of place, but it was like a pub and a dive bar that had a kid. It was pretty nice. They had a good chicken sandwich.
Okay.
Food was good. I was rushing through the meal.
Amen.
Because I was like, I don't want to be here. I want to be at home. I left for that dinner at 6 o'clock. I was home just before 8.
Wow.
I was like, that's the fastest date I've ever been on.
What was so unappealing?
Just imagine somebody
the
having...
audacity is, that's what's hitting me.
It was the mix of, the audacity of it. Her
You
full
owe me a
knowing...
date because you asked me, because I asked you to take me on a date, and... Now, if you don't go on that date, you're the dick. No.
Yeah, and then it was the whole thing of I was just like, well, I work a lot and I'm going on vacation soon. And, it's just, yeah, I don't want to spend more money than I have to. She didn't have a whole lot of personality.
Okay.
And so it was just, and I knew her in middle school, barely.
Yeah.
But, it didn't end well. And then... afterwards, she and I didn't talk a whole lot, and then it was an occasional texting situation. Now it's just I don't,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of a weird thing too. Whenever you're trying to not ghost a girl, but you're the one that's trying to wean her off.
Yeah, I feel bad. I it was a situation of I
weird.
understand why people do it now because I don't want to be the dick and be I don't want to talk to you anymore.
I'm not going to say her name, but I do want to talk about the night we met. We didn't mention this in the first episode, and I'm going to use a fake name. We're going to call her Brianna. But I feel like I have to talk about this story.
All right.
So, no, you said I could talk about this story. You said I could talk about this story.
I did say you can talk about it.
So we're going to talk about it.
Can I just preface it real quick?
Okay.
This story is a story where neither of us are the good guy.
Yeah.
I just want to go ahead and throw that
Y'all
out
are
there.
both dicks that night.
Yeah.
Absolute trash.
I was also a dick the next morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was on accident.
And I will explain that. So, okay, so basically what it was, I've been kind of seeing this girl for a little bit, been doing stuff. And, we're having a Halloween party. This is where everybody meets. It's the night. I'm in Boone at the time. This is where I live. We live in Hickory, of course. So I'm getting off of, I think, work or something. It's taken me a while to get home. So I texted Phil. I was like, hey, can you get Brianna home? Can you pick her up and get her? Which Patrick found hilarious later in time, but distracted.
You get ahead of yourself.
Yeah. So he picks her up. I get there before everybody else somehow, and I start drinking. I started hanging out with Hannah and her friend, and just I'm there to have.
And Nate. Nate was also there.
Yeah, Nate was there. Sorry. I'm there to have a good time. We're having fun. She gets there, and admittedly, I'm not giving her a lot of attention. I'm just there to hang out with my friends. Blah blah blah. I never really drank with her before. Found out she is a depressive drunk. She
also drank a lot very fast.
Yeah, and that's not my vibe. I don't like that vibe, so I stayed away from her more. And we're all hanging out. I'm drinking more. I'm drinking a lot to a point where I have to get out of the room. I go to the living room to lay down. She comes and she's like, oh my gosh, you're such an asshole, but you're so cute, and doing all this thing. Next thing I know, we're making out. Somehow nobody's checked up on us.
Oh, we knew what you're doing. I deliberately stayed away because I didn't want to see any of that.
That's fair. I respect that.
You're missing out on a few things. First of all, you missed out on a text that you had sent me like 2 days before.
What was the text?
I'm not gonna hook up in your house.
Oh, that was a big thing. Phil made me promise because he had a friend that just was a dick, but he made me promise. He was like, you promise you're not going to have sex in my house, right? And I said, I promise I will not have sex in your house.
Just based off of bad experiences.
Yeah. I promise I won't have sex in your house.
And then you missed the conversation you and I had in the kitchen while I was in the fridge.
That's true. You're right.
That's a big one.
Both of those are big turning points
You're
in
right.
the story.
You're right. I was in the kitchen. Phil was in the kitchen. I try to be supportive as I can. I don't really do the best job as it, but I try.
Especially when you're drunk.
I went to Phil and I was like, hey, this girl doesn't really mean anything to me. So if you want to make a move, that's totally fine. Because I'm trying to be a bro. I'm looking out for my bro. I was being a douche. I can admit that now. So that's the context. Because it seemed like Philip was kind of interested. It's not really an
It did
excuse.
seem. But
Yeah. Anyways, so fast forward, we're on the couch making out, and she's like, wow, I really want to fuck you. And I'm like, well, I do have my car in the driveway because I'm a good friend, and I remember I'm not going to have sex in his house. So we, go to my car, blah, blah, blah.
And you're gone. At this point, you've been gone for like an hour.
I don't know about an hour, but...
You were gone
But
for
I've been
a while,
gone for a
and
little
I
bit.
was starting to get concerned.
Yeah.
Because the week before, Nate and I had not gotten into an argument with our neighbors, but like we had an issue with our neighbors, and basically we found out they don't like us.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just tell this from my perspective. That's all right.
Yeah.
Because I was there, and I was there with a lot of people I didn't know. In fact, almost everyone else besides Nate that was in that room, I had never met before, or I had met once.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, all right, I'm going to go look for Roland. And what was her name again? Brianna. I'm like, hey, does anyone want to come with me? Because they're not anywhere in the house. And so Brandlin, who we've mentioned before, is our bigger black friend. And Patrick, who is our friend in the turtleneck.
Yeah. Again, this is our first night, so we don't really know who these...
I was introduced to him. I was introduced to Patrick as movie guy, and I had known Brandlin from working at Walmart.
Yeah.
And so they're like, yeah, I'll come with you. Guy I've never met before or hung out with before. So they follow me outside, and the first car I look at is Roland's car, and the windows are all fogged up. And I go, oh, it is like 1 o'clock in the morning. Maybe it's just like dew. I look at every other car. None of them are fogged up. And I'm like, oh, that motherfucker.
So I feel a flashlight on me. You know what's funny? My first thought wasn't the cops. It was aliens. I was like, oh, shit, there's a light. And then I hear like something. I look and I see you guys. And it's a very bad position to be when you see your friends.
What position would that be?
I'm not going to say what position.
Can
but
I say it?
No.
No, because you have to respect the other individual involved.
Yes. Anyways.
You're right.
So, of course, we had...
Neck deep.
Stop! Hate that.
Okay. That's fair. That's fine.
Patrick would ask for me to say it.
Yeah. But, so, yeah, we kind of... We put our clothes back on. We go in, and it was just so awkward. And we go in, enjoy the night, whatever is happening. Phil is furious.
It's also the first time I had ever been drunk before.
Yeah. But so Phil was really angry. He thought that I went against his promise. And Nate was like, well, not really. And that's usually how Nate goes. He's kind of like the deal breaker. He goes in and he puts in his little...
Yeah, we talked about this last episode.
Yeah.
Nate's like the dude from
Yeah.
Big Lebowski.
So, and Hannah's mentioned this before. This house is freezing. This is like late October. And so we're finally, we're settling down. We're going to sleep. And Phil refuses to go to his room. He's like, no, I don't trust you guys. I don't trust you guys. I'm going to stay in here and I'm going to sleep on this chair. And we're like, it's fine. I told you I wasn't going to have sex in your house. And I didn't. You can go to your room. No, I'm going to stay. I was like, all right, whatever. We sleep. We slowly start waking up. And just kind of starting to like remember everything. And usually what happens is like whenever we all wake up, you know, we tell the story of like, oh, like what did we do last night?
Yeah, this is what I remember from last night.
And Phil had this chip on his shoulder. He was like, I remember what Roland did last night.
And the thing is, I was sitting facing you in the recliner, and I could not see the couch behind me.
Which was where Brianna was sleeping.
And I forgot she was there.
Yes.
So I made a comment about about what Roland said to me in the kitchen.
He was like, do you remember what you said? And I was like, no, because I've been drinking. And he was like, can I say? And I was like, okay. And so he tells everybody what I said of saying, hey, she doesn't really matter to me. You can make a move if you like. Forgetting that the person he's talking about is right behind him, which was very awkward.
And I only realized it because she said, what? And I went, hey!
Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. I drove her to her dorm, and I was just so mortified for myself and for her, and I was like, I can't see her again. This is horrible. But she kept Snapchatting me, and she Snapchatted me every day until February 13th.
Weird that you remember the day.
It's because it was the day before Valentine's Day, and I didn't want her to send me a Valentine's Day snap.
So you unadded her on Valentine's Day?
The day before Valentine's Day, yes.
You know what, that's fair.
Yeah. So that's a horrible story of what I did. I want to come clean with it, but yeah, that happened.
And that is probably the most accurate telling of it because we're both the bad guys.
Yes.
Any story, anytime it's been told, mostly by me, I have painted Roland as the sole villain, and I am also willing to admit I was also a big dick.
I'm glad you're coming to terms with this. I appreciate this means a lot. I appreciate that because Phil does have a problem with telling stories where I'm the dick and I wasn't the dick.
Do you remember making Roland go around to each individual person at the party and have him personally apologize to each of us?
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that. What the fuck?
You came up to me and were like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't remember that at all.
Was that at like when I came in?
Yeah, when he went and fetched Joe.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you said you need to go up to each and every person and apologize for your behavior.
Yeah.
That was probably around the time I was still... No! Oh my god, why did I do that if I wasn't working as a teacher? Or a daycare person?
I don't know.
That's something I would do as like a daycare person.
It was spilling over in your drunken stupor, but yeah,
that's embarrassing to hear.
And because you said that to him, she heard, and she also came up to me and was like sobbing, and she's like, "I'm so sorry." I was like, "Girl, I don't care," but like also, I just want to make sure like you're a-okay.
She's good. I think she lives in like New York now.
She's vibing.
No, not anymore. She's back here.
Oh.
She's still vibing.
Doesn't matter. So, kind of projecting away. Hannah, do you have any more stories?
I've got a blind date option, and I've got 2 Tinder era date boys.
Well, what are the... You said
they're real short.
Chipotle
dude and line man dude.
I like line man. That sounds cool.
What is line man? Okay. I need to...
No.
I know what a line man is, so tell us this story.
See, I thought it had to do with cocaine.
No.
Really?
Like, he goes up in the electrician thingy and fixes the power lines.
Yeah.
But anyway, no.
So he's an American hero.
Yeah.
Sure.
Nate just gave me a look. By the way, Nate's here. I don't know if we addressed that, but Nate's sitting like right next to me. He's laying on the floor.
Christmas shopping.
I'm painting him like one of my French girls. Anyway.
Why does he look like a spoon?
This is a Slender Man.
Continue.
Anyway, sorry. Y'all talking and I got distracted. Okay, so this is another Tinder dude, and I'll just call him John. So me and John had messaged back and forth, and to a certain point, like, I gave him my snap, and so we started snapping every so often. When like we set a time and a day or whatever for a date. The day came. He was gonna message me or like come pick me up. Like, I can't remember exactly that part, but I had told my mom, I had shown a picture, had shared my location. Like, I did the whole 9 yards for when a girl goes and meets a random dude. And so I'm dressed up, and I'm like, I knew that he got off work about whenever, and like he sent me a Snapchat, and I'm like, okay, so I sent him one back, and like it got closer and closer to time, and then it like got the time that he should have, picked me up, and he had sent me a Snapchat of him like just vibing on his porch, like with his chickens and stuff.
Oh.
And so I sent him a picture. I sent him a picture back, and I was like, and he made a comment along the lines of like, oh, you look really good, like, any special occasion. I was like,
oh wow.
And I was like, okay, so like I don't know if like I was like, do I have the days wrong? Like, are we not going on a date? And he went, oh shit, I am so sorry. He's like, I've already had dinner with my family. I completely forgot. And I was like, oh.
Wow.
Cool.
Ooh.
Cool. I was like, yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. That's whatever. Like I was already starting to like get changed. I was like, we're fine.
Is it it's fine or is it you're fine?
I was fine. But like also, I was like, it's just more like, dude, like how do you forget? Like.
Yeah.
Cause like he had been talking about it like up until like. To that day or whatever, like the night before he had mentioned something, and I was like, okay. He was like, but then he was like, no, I'm so sorry. He's like, can we at least like either like meet up somewhere where we can like at least just talk, or can we like go get dessert somewhere? Like, I'm so sorry. And I was like, yeah, sure, fine, whatever. And so we met at like Cold Stone. And I got there, and like I had to wait like a couple minutes, and then he rolls up on his motorcycle. We chatted for a while, and like of course like the entire like first couple minutes he's like apologizing profusely, and I'm like, dude, it's fine. Like it's just like, oh, it's the comedic irony of being like, oh, you're dressed up, what's the occasion? Like I was like, dude, it's fine. But because we messaged a little bit after that, and like he was cool, but like it didn't work out. Like I mean,
yeah.
So like the date itself wasn't like that bad. It was just more like. Dang.
That is pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's so great. I just found out, like, I saw him, he got engaged recently.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, that's great.
Wow. What was the other one that you said?
Chipotle dude?
What's the Chipotle dude?
Chipotle dude was, Tinder. He lived in Boone. Because I was like, oh, that might work out. Because I was, scheduled to move to Boone or whatever for school, like, around that time or what. So I was like, well, if that works out, then we'll both be up in Boone or whatever. So he agreed to, like, he's like, oh, I'll drive down, and, like, we can go somewhere to eat. The day of the date, he messaged me. He's like, I'm so sorry to do this, but, like my Jeep broke down. Like, I can't make it. Like, all this stuff. And I was like, okay, like, we're good. And, like, no big deal. Like, it's fine. Because, I'm like, accidents happen. But he was like, so let's reschedule. And so he rescheduled for, like, a week later or whatever. We met in downtown Hickory, and so, once again, stupid thing, but rather than just meeting him at the location, like, I got in his Jeep, and then we drove to the restaurant. He chose Chipotle, which I was like, interesting, choice, but okay, that's fine, because I like Chipotle, but,
Never had it.
Weird.
Chris works at Chipotle. That's my addition
Your
to it.
boyfriend? But he was like, so we got in line and everything. We ordered, and then I offered to pay because I was like, I mean, I'm not above it. I don't care. Like, it's no big deal, And he got, like, visibly, like, taken aback that I offered to pay. And he was like, no, I'm not about to let you pay. And I was like, oh, let me pay? I was like, okay, like, sure.
So he was, like, offended?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was like, a weird move. Okay. So we got it, like, we sat down at one of the tables or whatever, and we started talking, about this, that, trying to, like, small talk. And within, like, the first 5 minutes, he had mentioned that he was, like, had been severely concussed, which was not a big deal, because I've had 4 concussions, so I'm good. But, like, he has a lot of, like, so because of that, he had, like, some brain damage or whatever, because he was either in the Army or was going to go into the Army or something like that, but he couldn't because of the concussion.
Mm-hmm.
And so that he's going to be like, on, like, military pay or disability for life or whatever. I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, I was very, because, like, the military was paying for him to go to app.
So it sounds like he was in it.
And then he got hurt at, like, one of the things. But, like, once again, this has been, like, years, and I didn't really listen that much. But he also talked about how, since he was on one of the athlete teams, that, like, he has to be careful that he doesn't injure it again and everything, and that, like, how he got in trouble because he's really aggressive and violent and has a short temper on the field. And I was like, those are, like, all red flags right there, buddy. Like, big red flags. And then the whole, like, him getting mad that I got offered to pay. Like, didn't even pay, but, like, the fact that I just offered and he got, like, all up pissed about it, I was like, dude. And then he started talking about, like, marriage and having children, and he's like, hope that's all right with you. Like, hope that isn't the issue for you. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, having kids. Like, you're good with that?
Like, you're having kids?
Yeah, like,
oh.
And I was like, dude, we've known each other like 15 minutes. Like, can we, like, pump the brakes just real fast? So that ended pretty fast, but he was, like, trying to draw it out. So once we got back to the square, he's like, why don't we, like, walk around or whatever? So we did a lap around. And I was like, well, I really need to go. I have to babysit these kids later on. I was like, we gotta go home and change on it. Lied. Literally had several hours. I was like, I'll kill time. I'll find something to do. I just wanted to go. And then he proceeded to, like, grab the back of my neck and, like, pull me in for a kiss. But, like, one, non-consensual. Two, not even a good kiss. Like, it was very, like, clumsy. Like, I don't know how you can, like, fumble a kiss. I was like, if that's how you play football, dude, get off the field. Like, bruh.
Nice.
Like, I mean, it was, like, because it was, like, we didn't touch teeth, but it was, like, it felt like he was, like, it was an uncomfortable thing. And I was like, goodbye. And then he was like, when can I see you again? I was like, hopefully never. And then I was like, that was so dumb of me, because now if I do, like, go to app and everything, which I am, there currently, haven't seen him, hope to never see him. It was awful.
Wow.
It was great. So fun. Love guys. They're so cool. When they, don't listen to no as an answer. It's really great.
Yeah, it is kind of awkward when it's, like, that happens, and especially as a guy. I'm not saying, hold on, before I continue with
Are you saying, like, it's if you misinterpreted, like,
No, as a guy, like, and a girl does that to you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like, the gender doesn't matter. Yeah. Gender does not matter. If the vibe's off and they kiss you without asking, because someone asked me if asking to kiss someone was, like, unattractive. And I was like, no, I find that personally very attractive if someone asks before they just be doing stuff.
Okay, let me ask you this, because this is something that I've experienced. How would you feel if someone was like, so are you just not going to kiss me, or?
That's passive aggressive. I hate that.
I felt so bad, because, like, the whole time I was on this date, I was like, you know what, like, this is, like, I'm vibing with her. Like, yeah, she talks about how she's, like, she doesn't want kids, she doesn't want, like, she's not, like, a very physically affectionate person. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I can get that. Like, it's all, like, emotions and stuff like that. Like, I can deal with that. That's, that's fine with me. And I was never expecting, like, a kiss or anything. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, I hung out with her for, like, I don't know, maybe, like, 4 or 5 hours.
Okay.
As I'm leaving her house, she walks me to my car, and she goes, yeah, so I had fun tonight. And I go, yeah, it'd be fun to do this again sometime. She goes, yeah. So are you just not going to kiss me? And I go, yeah. And I proceeded to have, like, it wasn't a great kiss. Nothing to write home about.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right. And then I drove, like, 45 minutes home, and I was just sitting there. I was like, man, this sucked.
Yeah, I see, like, what she was trying to do, but that definitely does come off.
It came off very passive-aggressive and very, like...
I feel like the response would have, and maybe, I'm not saying that you answered incorrectly, I just feel like it'd be easier to, like, maybe smooth the ruffles if you just explained when she said that, be like, well, I know what you mentioned previously, and I wasn't sure if that would make you uncomfortable. I was just trying to respect your boundaries.
Yeah,
and then explaining, like, why you didn't do it. It isn't the fact that, you didn't want to kiss her. It's just the fact that you didn't want to put her in a situation where she was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so if you would have told her that, honestly, she would have found that more attractive.
I mean, how do you
Because
guys feel
communication
about?
is important.
I mean, it vary. I 100% agree. But how do you feel about like kissing at the end of the first date?
I'll be honest. I feel like I'm more likely to go on a second date if I don't kiss someone at the end of the first date.
I 100% feel that. I 100% get that. I like a kiss should be like. I can kind of understand just like maybe like a kiss at the end, but Hannah clearly has a story.
No, I was thinking about like, Drew, the way you said that though, it's like, I have to save it for a special someone. Like,
Well, I had a story. Yeah, okay. With Campbell, we did kiss at the end of our date, but that was like a lot. That's the story for a different time. But usually, I don't really like. I like to wait for the second date. I completely understand.
Yeah, I mean, like, look how long it took Roland to kiss me.
What are you talking about? I kissed you a lot in high school.
No, you didn't.
No, but I wanted you to freak out for a second.
I was sitting there, I was like, wait, did we do a film where, like, you had to kiss me?
I think I did kiss you once in high school.
Maybe, like, on the cheek, never on the lips.
Yeah.
I think if there's like an established connection and you feel something, like, I don't think you
Yeah.
have to have it timed out. Like, if you feel like that connection and you want to display that then, and you're both okay with it, by all means, whatever. Don't put I'm sorry, you must wait until the third date or like whenever. Like, because that's also kind of the mentality of like whether people argue like, oh, should you have sex on the first date? Personally, I'm not like.
Dude, I had sex on a first date and it ruined it for me completely.
Was that the one?
So let me just tell that story real quick because this is a perfect example why you shouldn't have sex on the first date. I went on this date with we'll call her Mary. We had been talking for months, like off and on. She was really cool. I liked her. We went on this date. I had an amazing time. We went to like Olive Garden. Do you have something to say?
I have a question. Was this the blue-haired girl?
No.
Okay.
She was very pretty. And we were having fun. Like she liked to roast. Like that's my big thing. Is like I like to insult joke and. That's just that's just my thing.
I know who this is now. Never
yes, you know who this is.
Eh.
So this is at the time I'm living in Boone, but she lived in like Newton or something like that. So we started the date in Hickory. We went to Boone right afterwards, and we stayed in my apartment. And I was like, it's not a big deal. Nobody is really ever at my apartment. You know, Roni, he was my roommate for a long time. He was almost never there. He was like maybe there a couple days out of the week, and that's a maybe. So I was like, yeah, let's just go to my apartment. We'll watch a movie. It'll be cool. And I was actually like thinking about like, yeah, I might have a relationship with this person. Like this person seems really cool. We started watching this movie. I was kind of enjoying it, and then like halfway through, she was like, I don't really want to watch this. Let's watch something else. And I don't know, she would do little things that just like the more I hung out with her, the more I'm like, I'm not okay with like this. Just seems like a little weird. Like she I don't know, she like stole some of my pajamas and just I don't know. She was also a big chain smoker, which I don't know why I'm gonna talk about, but I'm gonna talk about it anyways. The one time that I wanted the apartment alone, Roni was there, and Roni is right next to my room. This girl is over. She is wearing my clothes. She's wearing a beanie. So Roni told me, he was like, dude, I thought you were on a date with a guy. And I wasn't going to judge, but like I thought it was just funny. I don't know. Everybody's giving me looks. Okay, I'll continue. Anyways, we're watching Coraline. I think I don't even think we finished it. She like stopped it and she's like, take me to your room right now. And I was like, I mean like let's watch the thing. Like Roni is right next door. But anyways, we go in my room and like we start, doing stuff and blah blah blah.
How do you make talking about hooking up so awkward?
Because I don't really like talking about it.
Because he was uncomfortable. So
I get it, but it's like
I don't like talking about sex.
Yeah, I know, but you could just be like, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways,
you got a point. Never mind.
Yeah.
Continue.
I mean, so we're and like it's just so awkward. Just like right from the start, I can hear what Roni's watching. I know what movie he's watching. That's how loud his TV. That's how like so out of it I am. And she's like still trying to do, and we're just having sex, and it's just so awkward. It's so weird. It's honestly like,
it's like pushing rope into a bag of bones.
Yeah, I mean, like I got hard, but it was just so weird. I didn't like it. And
Somehow that comment was worse than what you said.
That sounds like a 12-year-old who just got his first boner. Oh,
What
it got
it-
hard and it was so weird.
no, it was just so I know what movie he was watching. And at one point, I jokingly but somewhat seriously said, "This is the worst sex I've ever had in my life," which I said to a person, and I will have to deal with that for the rest of my life.
You said that mid-sex.
I
And
said that
sober.
mid-sex. Sober, I don't even think I had a drink that night. And it was, oh my gosh. And she like saw that as a challenge, and then it started to become a little bit better, but it still took me a while to, yeah. And then like the next day, I drove her home, and we didn't really talk after that.
Dude,
Anyways,
that's
Hannah, do you
rough.
want a story to tell?
That's rough.
Can I just
Yeah.
bring up, like, Roland also brought her to meet the friend group,
No, we
right?
didn't.
This is a different girl.
No,
This is
no, no.
not
Is it? Oh, I thought it was
No, you're talking about my
No.
ex-girlfriend.
I know
Ah.
who he's talking about. 'Cause
No,
Oh, wait.
me and I'll just say Abby. That's her name. Like she's not here. Me and her had an amazing first date.
Oh, okay.
We had a good time.
'Cause
but
this-
it was
Oh,
just-
wait, no, this was the girl that kind of looked like Starlight.
Yeah.
Okay, now I know.
The way you like keep these girls in your mind is so unique.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
This is why my mom thinks I have autism. Well,
Not gonna comment on that.
So
one, but
anyway, my blind date.
good segue. Good segue. Let's
It's good. This was pre-Tinder. This was when everyone was like, let me play Cupid real fast. This is gonna get real awkward in the sense that this is when I worked at Chick-fil-A, so you know people. You don't know the guy, but so I'll just use their names because one, I don't think they'll ever see this or hear this. Two,
Yeah.
I don't think they care because they're not the villain here. They're not
I only
the
talked to like
victim.
maybe besides you, one person from Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. Plus, most of them have quit and moved on.
Yeah.
Rightfully so. Kidding. Love Chick-fil-A. Not really. It's fine. Anyway, so this girl's name was Lupita. She and I hung out outside of work a little bit, like, cause no one else hung out with her, which I probably should not say that. That's probably kind of mean. But
That
it's
does
just,
sound mean. Yeah.
well, no, cause that wasn't. She just didn't really get along well with like the other leader girls at the time, and I will hang out with anyone. Literally, I'm pretty chill.
Yeah, I mean, you're with us.
Losers who were in a crack house that had a ceiling falling down.
Hurtful, but okay.
Truthful.
Says the person who claims to be from the room filled with mold.
Listen,
You're very proud of that.
I really am. Anyways, she was like, she had started dating this guy named Chris. Now, Chris, this is going to be a lot to follow. Chris had a sister who also worked at Chick-fil-A. Her name was Cora, and she dated this other guy. That will come up later. So the point is, she's connected to Lupita and Chris by the guy, because that's her brother. They all lived at the same house. So Lupita was like, hey, Chris told me he has this single guy friend that he's trying to set up with someone. You're single. That sounds fine. I really would love if, like, you know, y'all start dating because then we could all hang out all the time. Like, she was doing it solely out of selfish reasons.
It sounded like she just wanted to be your friend and wanted to be more connected with you.
We are friends. Like, we were friends. There was no need to tie webs. There was no reason. But the
I don't know. I felt like it was just they were
listen.
Okay.
No, because you'll see.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, sure. Like, I mean, I'm not really looking for anything, but okay. Because she kept on, like, for a while. So I agreed. They set a time. It was actually around this time because it was during, like, Oktoberfest. And so I came to their house. And I was there before he had gotten there. And so she and I were talking. And so, like, she had shown me a photo of him. But, like, he wasn't very, like, good quality photo. Like, it was hard to tell. But, like, for the most part, he seemed all right. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever. He pulls up. So Chris goes outside to, like, say hey to him and everything. Well, while he's outside, Lupita goes, oh, yeah, by the way, like, short guys are an issue for you, right? And I was like, no, but also, like, dude, like, if it were, like, we're already here. Like, you know, like, he's here, I'm here, like, we're already here.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I didn't care, because I don't care about size, appearance, whatever. Like, it's not a big deal.
Am I right, Nate?
What?
What a wonderful man. Anyway, so I was like, yeah, no, that's not a big deal for me. I do feel like I need to point out at this point, for context, I was wearing heels. So,
Like, I feel like the question of are you okay with short guys has never ended with someone that's like, you know, like, I don't know, maybe it's just my experience with it where it's like, oh, are you okay with, like, short? And it's like, how short are we talking here?
well,
There's a Golden Girls episode about that.
Yeah, you'd fucking know.
So Chris,
It's a great episode,
so
actually.
Chris and the guy, we'll call him, I'll just go with Kyle. We'll go with Kyle, because I don't think that's his name. I don't remember his name. I think I do, but I'm going to say, well, his name's
Okay, we get it.
Kyle.
It's Kyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he walks in, and I stand up to greet him. And for the first time in my life, I found a situation where my head rose higher than the other person's.
Okay.
And I was like, which is not an issue. Like, I was just more surprised because I've always been the shorter person. Because everyone calls me short. So I was like,
Well, you're not that short. How tall are you?
I was gonna say,
5'3".
Are you really? You
Whoa.
seem taller.
I was gonna say, yeah, like I would have guessed like 5'6".
It might be because I lie about my height, but yeah, you definitely seem taller.
I'm 5'3". Like, I think my driver's license has 5'5", but, like, that's because the lady went, yeah, you look about 5'5"-ish, and wrote it down and moved on. But the point was, like, so, like, I was, like, and it wasn't, like, a crazy amount, but, like, I mean, it was wearing heels, so it was, like, it was a slight decline. Wasn't used to it, okay?
Yeah.
So, but I was just like, oh, hey, like, you know, I'm Hannah, like, all that stuff, like, moving on. So, Chris is like, all right, the reservation for Texas Roadhouse.
I like Texas Roadhouse. Don't give that face. No.
You and I can have a discussion.
No, my
later.
grandparents fucking hate Texas Roadhouse. Most of my
with
family
good
hates
reason.
them.
With
Dude,
good
they have
reason.
good bread.
That's it. That's I can
And they
buy
have
you-
that they have that onion thing.
The
bloomin' onion?
That's it. Outback.
Yeah, but it's also a Texas Roadhouse.
They also have it's also
Yeah,
a
but
Texas
Outback
Roadhouse.
also has, like, the superior loaf bread.
But
Anyway.
Texas Roadhouse has like that butter.
Anyway.
Okay, I'm
I
sorry.
can buy you a tub of that butter.
Because,
All right.
mind you, this is, like, Oktoberfest. So, like, a lot of the areas in Hickory were really full. So you had to have, like, reservations because everywhere was full for dinner. So we went. Another thing that was kind of adding to the issue of, like, it just was going to quickly become a bad night was the fact that as we were waiting in line for our table to get ready, like, my blood sugar dropped. And so I was, like, trying really hard just to stay, like, conscious. Because I was, like, swaying. And, like, I was like, I'm going to drop. And it's going to be real awkward for everyone. But thankfully I was able to stay up. But we got to our table. And then another issue that arose is the fact that Lapita and Chris are, like, one of those couples that, like, are always fighting.
Ooh.
Like, always. But, like, obviously, like, I mean, they're married. Like, they have a kid. Like, they're fine. But it's just, during that period of time, they were always that couple that was fighting. And they didn't care if it was in front of people or not. So, like, it was, like, that awkward, like, we were in the back seat while they're, like, bickering back and forth. And we were just like, hey, what's up? 'Cause,
Is
like,
it bickering or just straight up fighting? Because there is a difference.
well, like, I think it was more like bickering, but it's like it had threats of, like, it was gonna fight, but it's like they were trying to keep it, like, low key because we're there. Like, they're at least
Okay.
trying. Because, like, part of the issue was, like, Chris was, like, trying to hype Kyle up, but in doing so, he was really making it uncomfortable for Kyle and for me, because while we were in line, he was like, "Yeah, you might even get some tonight."
Ooh.
And I was like, and Lapita was like, hey, we, like, you know, because I'm like, that's just, because, like, he's like, yeah, man, he's like, talk about how pretty she's, but, like, right there in front of me, so it's like, dude, this is just really awkward for everyone, because then, too, Kyle's getting embarrassed and uncomfortable because, like, Chris is talking about it, and, like,
that's uncomfortable for everyone.
It's like when your parents are like, why don't you compliment her on a smile? And it was, like, very much like, it felt like a chaperone date.
Yeah, no.
And it was like mom and dad, and then, like, there's like a middle school, like, grade era, like, kind of feeling.
That reminds me of a bad date I went on. That's so funny. Okay.
Oh man, that's crazy.
We're at the table and they keep on bickering, And so it's either listen to them bicker or like, cause then it's just a little bit of everything with them. And I was like trying to pacify that because I'm like, Lapita, really, it's fine. Just shut up. I don't want to have to deal with this. And so then to save the date, because everything was drowning at that point, they're like, let's just walk around downtown Hickory because Oktoberfest. I was like, sure. I don't have a choice. I rode with y'all. We're all riding together. So we walked around. When we ran into Cora and her boyfriend, and I was like, thank God. I think she could tell. She's like, oh, cause like she knew about the date that was happening and everything, and I think she took one look at me, and I know she knew that I was just not. And I was like, she's like, maybe we could walk around with y'all, and I was like, yeah, you should do that. Because even then it was still really awkward, cause like Chris was like, why don't you hold her hand? And I was like, dude, please, just stop. Let me die in peace. And so, like, he, like, awkwardly, like, nudged my hand and, like, inserted it, like, and then grabbed. And I was like, dude, if you want to hold my hand, you can. But, like, don't do it because you were told to or whatever.
Yeah.
And then, too, like, it didn't help that, like, when we were walking out to the car or whatever, I heard him tell Chris, he's like, you didn't tell me she was taller than me. And I was like, bro, what are you, like, I don't know what to tell you. I didn't know. I can't shrink myself. Like, I'm literally just me. Because then, too, like, I showed him, like, we really needed to use a bathroom. There wasn't any available on the street. So I, at the time, was teaching ballet at the studio in downtown. So I went ahead and, unlocked the door and let us in there so everyone could use the bathroom. And during that time, like, I was, like, talking about ballet because Cora and, like, Lapita loved watching, like, the different dances and stuff that I would show them. And so I did something, like, I think it was something, like, I lifted my leg or whatever. And then, like, Chris nudged Kyle. He's like, hey, flexible, right? It must come in handy. And I was like, and then Lapita's like, will you shut up? And I was like, all right, anyway.
Yeah, double dates are just, it's never, because Chris Cohen said that to me once. I went on a double date with him, and it was just, yeah, I should have just.
So it ended pretty quickly after that. They took us back to the house, and then like Lapita was like, "Oh, like can you take a Polaroid of me and Chris?" And so like I took it, and then like Cora and her guy like took a, and then Lapita's like, "Why don't y'all get together and I'll snap y'all's photo?" And I was like, Mom, I don't want to.
Yeah, the real ending to a middle school date.
Yeah, and she was like, why don't y'all just get closer? And I was like, and he was like, I'm so sorry. I was like, it's fine. And then we took the photo, which I think I might even have that Polaroid somewhere in my memory chest. It's a cursed object. It's horrifying. Because, like, that memory chest is full of, like, just random shit from, like, the past, like, 7 years. And I've never gone through it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So,
I would love to, just look through that.
Go through that? Yeah.
Nate, have you ever gone through that?
What?
Son of a bitch.
The memory box that I have, like, all these random pieces of, like, shit throughout the years.
Like, do I rummage through it?
Nothing, baby. It's okay. Point is, don't go on blind dates, and don't go with friends that were in the weird, like, they cared so much they beat each other's head off. I don't know what that was. There was something.
Those are all bad dates. You know what? We've learned a lesson here.
Yeah, you're shit at dates.
We're all shit at dates.
No, we are.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm doing pretty good for myself.
No, you're doing good. You're doing good.
You know what? Maybe let's retract that. The two of you are in what look to be good relationships.
Yeah.
I am in a great relationship with my good friend.
You've literally gone through so much of, like, saying, like, I don't go on dates, so I don't even want to hear it, Phil.
Like, dude, straight up, like, you can find a very nice lady or man, whatever you want, really. I mean, I don't discriminate.
Look, I'm going to end it with this. I've tried to be gay. Gay guys are a lot nicer to me. But I just, unfortunately, I'm not attracted to men.
I feel that.
What
That's
if
fair.
you were the one doing the action?
I don't think you understand the whole thing of attraction. But, like, you know.
To quote Patrick, a hole's a hole.
Eli Little said that to me once on the
Not the quote I thought you were going to use from Patrick.
No, not that one.
Oh, no.
God
Anyways,
dang.
All right, now to end the episode because we don't know how to do endings.
No, I know how to do endings. Fuck you. Hannah, it was so good talking to you. Thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate you. We're so glad you're
Shut
in
up.
this. Can you let me give you a compliment, please, for once in your
It feels
fucking life?
uncomfortable.
I think,
Yes. Now all we need is your mom to send us $50,000 in unmarked bills, and then you can go home.
Literally straight up. Let me go tell you. No.
Well, that's a shame. You're gonna be stuck working on this show forever. Anyways.
in all serious, thank you so much, Hannah, for joining us. This was Dale's a Crowd. We hope you enjoyed it. Please follow for more episodes. Me and Phil really like doing this.
Yeah. I mean, we're gonna keep doing it if you guys follow or not. Like, I don't
mean,
care.
for sure. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But thank you for that.
That's a beautiful Slender Man.
Hannah is showing this photo that she draw out of anxiety of some sort of suit with a spoon as a head.
That's Slender Man.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's almost like she said it like 10 minutes ago in the episode.
Yeah,
made
but
his neck
Slenderman
really
is
long.
white, so.
Wow.
I don't have. Well, whoa.
Yeah.
Hold up.
All right. Keeping
Okay.
this in.
No.
Roland's a racist,
Okay.
guys.
Okay. That's the end of the episode.